Mark Carney wants to cut 40,000 public sector jobs, even though it is a direct threat to public service and safety. He would rather remove well-paying unionized jobs to balance the budget and cut spending, rather than potentially increase taxes on the top 1% who currently own 25% of all of Canada's wealth. These cuts are happening across many different departments, including health, transport, environment and climate change, fisheries and oceans, agriculture, but nobody's talking about what these cuts practically mean. According to PSAC, which is the largest union that represents federal public workers, job cuts to departments like these threaten to slow service delivery, increase wait times for crucial benefits, reduce oversight and administrative capacity, disrupt critical research that informs policymaking, and impacts critical government operations. It is always working class Canadians who are forced to make sacrifices for the economy. Liberals and conservatives are always going to protect capital over protecting labor.
This is me finding out I'm laid off via email. Yeah, that's what I woke up to today. I'm honestly still in shock. Gonna process it, take some time. So if I'm not doing my usual stuff, that's why. But this is the fourth time in 2 years that this has happened. And there's only so much people can actually take. And the worst part is I was told I was going to be okay. Surprise, I'm not. So yeah, I have to sort some things out. And when is this madness honestly going to stop? And I know it's not personal, but companies need to remember that employees are people. We're human beings. We aren't numbers. We aren't IDs. We aren't salaries. We're human beings. And being told one thing and waking up to an email saying another is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. And I don't know. Do I change industries? Do I use this as an opportunity to, I don't know, move to Portugal on a retirement visa? I don't know. And it's not about the salary. It's about doing something. It's about working. I don't like being idle, and I don't like not being useful. And that, to me, is the worst part of it. And I know I'm very fortunate to be in a position to be able to say that, but I find purpose in being useful. And now I'm not again.
How the fuck does this make any sense? Every major company in Canada is cutting employees. Canadian Tire, Scotiabank, TD Bank, Equitable Bank. And you're still sitting here thinking your job is fucking safe. I don't know what kind of delusional you gotta be, but you gotta wake up. First they took your rights, then they silenced your voice, then they forced you to comply, and now they're coming for your income. They're making you weaker by the day, because weak people are easy to control. And most people are sitting there watching it unfold like it's some type of Netflix series. You still think your job is safe? You think your company cares? They'll cut you in a heartbeat and call it efficiency. Canadians were promised tariffs deal with Trump by July of 2025. But guess what? That was just a campaign bullshit promise. Almost November of 2025, and we have companies shutting down manufacturing facilities here, leaving people unemployed and worried for their life and moving their operations to the States. And the best our Prime Minister can say is prepare for sacrifice. Are you out of your fucking mind? If you're still waiting for the government or your boss to save you, you're in deep shit, my friend.
Alright guys, welcome back once again to the channel. I hope you are having a great time wherever you are watching this episode from. Now, mass layoffs are hitting hard on Canadians. And here's what Canadians are saying it's currently happening and it's a trend. You wake up in the morning, open your phone or your laptop, and the first notification you see is an email. The email says you've been laid off, you've been fired. No explanation, no nothing. And if you are lucky to get an explanation, well, they'll tell you, Donald Trump's tariffs are hitting on our company, so we need to reduce the workforce. They are saying, or they are telling you, we have to reduce some workers because of tough economic crisis under our company or corporation or federation, and yet, so you've been affected. That is If you're lucky, you'll get an explanation. And if you're not, you'll just receive an email. And what's now even hitting hard on Canadians is that after these mass layoffs, or after you've been fired, or you've lost your job, there is no chance of you getting a job in Canada nowadays. Because, well, the temporary foreign workers, the immigrants, the international students, people are opting to hire them because of the subsidized wages or something like that. And here's what Canadians are saying about the mass layoffs in Canada.
The layoff trend continues in Canada. And I know it's pretty bad in the United States, but Canada is going through its own job cuts struggles right now. As I'm looking at this particular piece of news here about Bell Canada. So Bell Canada, one of the major telecom providers in Canada, has cut about 690 manager and news division jobs. Keep in mind, this is one of the largest telecommunications company of Canada, and they're axing these jobs. You know, what's the reason? Well, it's the same reason that they're always telling you, right? They need to be able to deliver sustainable growth. It's a strategic decision, whatnot. Now, keep in mind that this company has cut thousands of jobs in the last year and a half. And that includes 1,300 job cuts in June 2023 and in February 2024, when Bell announced it would lay off around 4,800 employees. The pains continue for the Canadian job market.
The amount of layoffs and unemployed people in the city is actually astronomical. Like, I don't think it's ever been this bad. Like, every single person I know has either been laid off, has been unemployed for like a long period of time, have been applying, not getting anything back, or they know someone that knows someone that knows someone that has been unemployed, that has been laid off. What is going on? Like, what is actually going on? Like, there are countless of job postings on LinkedIn. If we're not getting it, no one's getting it. Who's getting these jobs? Because I genuinely believe they're like either a scam, or they're like lying to the company to prove that they're growing, because that's the thing on LinkedIn, or like it's a lie. It's genuinely a lie, because there's no way that there are this many jobs and no one is getting them. Like, the last time I heard someone get an interview was like last year. I know we're a month into the year, but it's been so long since I've heard someone get an interview and actually land the job. Before, it was easy. You just put in the work, you have a great resume, you get it. Now, if you get a job, it's like getting a Grammy, it's like winning an Oscar, like you're a triple threat. You have to do everything that you can to get a job. What the hell is this? And if you have a job, you have to juggle multiple things, take in more responsibility, don't ask for money, that's a no-no, don't ask for a raise to keep your job. And if you do, then you're the best worker and the best human. I am sick. Enough. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, enough of this. I'm so tired of this.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news. CTV News has learned layoffs are underway at a major government department as part of the Liberal government's plan to reduce the size of the public service. Statistics Canada is laying off dozens of employees this week, and hundreds of positions will be eliminated in the coming years. CTV's Stefan Keys joins us now with the latest, Steph.
Patricia, CTV News has obtained a memo sent to StatCan employees just this afternoon, which outlines a plan to cut 850 jobs as the department works towards the federal government's goal of finding billions of dollars in savings. According to the memo, 100 positions are immediately affected, and those employees will be notified this week. The plan is to cut another 750 jobs over the next 2 years and to reduce the number of executive positions by 12%. In order to achieve those targets, the government is notifying 3,200 employees that their job may be impacted, in hopes that many will voluntarily leave in order to reduce the number of layoffs. The government is offering early retirement incentives and voluntary departure programs to some workers. The size of the department has grown in recent years. In 2019, there were 5,400 employees under Statistics Canada. In 2025, there were more than 7,200. This is just one of several departments notifying employees of upcoming layoffs. Last summer, the federal government asked nearly all departments to find 15% in savings in the coming years. In a statement, StatCan confirms the layoffs and says affected employees will be notified within the next 2 weeks. According to the memo, employees who are impacted will be told by their managers. Patricia.
Algoma Steel will lay off 1,000 workers. That is more than a third of its workforce. The company blaming U.S. tariffs.
It's very devastating when you live in a community that doesn't have a lot of job opportunities and you're finding out that your job is going to end.
Algoma Steel is based in Sault Ste. Marie. It has been hit hard by the 50% tariffs imposed last summer. The majority of its buyers are in the U.S. The company says the tariffs have forced them to accelerate plans to shut down their blast furnace and coke oven operations a year earlier than planned. The focus now is on electric arc furnace steelmaking. In September, the federal government gave Algoma a $400 million loan. The province pitched in $100 million. But the union says the government offered money without proper conditions to protect workers. The layoffs, by the way, will take effect on March 23rd.
I'm going to be laid off as of today. We do have callback rates now, so I'm getting to the point right now, I'm getting older, but I'm looking for something different.
This was my last shift. Yeah, there's no sense in getting stressed out over something you have no control over.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones, but there's a lot of people who aren't so much.
I hear that the people that are staying have got 32 Saturdays scheduled and 1 week shut down this summer. I wish them the best, and for all those getting laid off, I hope that they find what they're looking for, and when one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, some people are going, some people are staying, but hopefully they get better luck.
I feel like a lot of people have, I don't know, some sort of resentment. Yeah. But, I mean, you just gotta go on, move on, right?
I would like to keep my job, but it is what it is.
I'm considering moving to Alberta for work.
I put the blame on Trump. Just big crybaby.
Because the jobs in Ontario are disappearing quickly, I blame that on the governments, both Canada and US. I just wish Carney would go down to the States and get a friggin' deal, some type of deal made with Trump, so that at least Ontario can be saved, because right now Ontario is not looking very, very good at all.
Nobody warned us about this. You're not going to want to hear this, but layoffs in Canada and other countries are getting worse. Just last week, I was told that a college that I have worked for the last 13, almost 14 years is closing their doors. I am a college instructor. And then just a couple of weeks before that, a family member who works for a federal institution, a family member, they were laid off as well. And they're laying off 10,000 workers. Skip forward to today, a friend of mine who saw a post that I have made about job loss in Canada has also been laid off today. These are, and we're good, solid people, hard-working people who bought into the fact that a system was built for us, and now there's just job loss.
So we just lost a whole bunch of jobs again, and of course, somehow the unemployment rate fell. Canada lost 25,000 jobs. Unemployment rate falls as job seekers drop. So apparently, to be considered unemployed, you have to meet a certain criteria. There's like a couple things that you have to be actively looking for a job, you have to do this, that, and the other, and then you are considered unemployed. But if you've been unemployed for so long that you've just entirely given up on finding a job, well, now you're no longer unemployed. You're just somebody who doesn't have a job. Like if I just made $10 million shorting Bitcoin and just decided to stop working because I didn't have to anymore, I would be unemployed. But I guess at a certain point, you can't really call me unemployed anymore. Maybe I'm, an investor. But anyways, unemployment fell because even though we lost jobs, for all of the jobs we lost, there's more people who are already unemployed that are now not meeting the definition of being unemployed. I talk to a lot of people in construction because I'm from that background. A lot of my friends are still, in that space. And a lot of the conversations I'm having with people is, oh yeah, we got this one job we're working on, but after this, we don't know what's going to happen after this. Or, yeah, we just did a round of layoffs. We laid off 50 people. We laid off this. I had to lay off, a guy who's been working for 10, 15 years. But anyways, from what I'm hearing and what this chart says is that the real unemployment rate isn't 6.5%. It's actually 9.2%.
Give me 1 second because I'm going to show you the hypocrisy, the insanity, and what economic suicide looks like in Canada. Check this out. This may not seem like anything to you. And it says that the BC sport and fishing industry is balking at salmon reallocation that could put it last. And I know what you're thinking, who cares, Mario? It's not that big of a deal. Well, watch. See, the provincial government is proposing to make a small change that has a $1 billion impact that will cause thousands of jobs to be lost. They're proposing a change that salmon will no longer be a public resource. And this proposal, regardless of whatever stock that they have or whatever economic benefits are generated by recreational fishing, is going to have a detrimental impact. It will destroy recreational fishing. And I know you don't think it's much, but it contributes to nearly 1.3 billion in economic activity to the province. It supports nearly 10,000 direct jobs and adds 624 million to BC's GDP. We are currently under an economic crisis. We have a tariff crisis. We may not be able to renegotiate CUSMA. And we're going to put this on the line for what? And you want to know what the crazy thing is? Commercial fishing will still be allowed. And if I could guess, I can almost guarantee you that one of those commercial fishing boats will capture more fish, more salmon, than all the recreational fishing that happens throughout the whole year. It makes absolutely no sense. For context, the size of that industry is about a third of what China imposed tariffs on to Canada's canola industry. You know, the same one that forced us to make a deal with China to import their cheap spy machines in our country. And here, we are our own worst enemy. There is no one else to blame. There is no tariffs. There is no Donald Trump. There is no China. It's only us. And I want to apologize to one person, and his name is Jeff Kibble. He's the member of parliament for the Cowichan area, where this is all happening. I happened to meet him and his very lovely wife, who is his right-hand woman, and he's lucky to have her. He had explained this insanity to me, and I told him I'm going to make a video because all of Canada needs to get behind him and get behind ending this madness. Nearly 10,000 jobs that we could save, Canadian jobs, homegrown jobs, for recreational fishing, and we want to get rid of it? Do me a favor, help save these Canadian jobs. Email them, call them. This is the ministry that is in charge of this. Canada needs this right now.
Personally, I believe that the only solution we need in Canada right now, with immediate effect, is coming up with a policy that will consider putting Canadians first. Works in Canada should consider being given to Canadians first. This thing called the temporary foreign working program is what is literally destroying Canadian workers. Here is why I'm saying this. You wake up in the morning, you receive, the first thing you wake up to is an email. An email from your company, corporation, or your employers telling you you've been laid off. No explanation, no further ado, no nothing. Just an email to tell you don't report to work. You and 2,000 others have been laid off. You say it's okay. You decide to go on your website, your company's website, to see if that's true. You find the same job that you've been laid off is being given out. And it's not just being given out to Canadians. It's now being given, the option being this job is being given to an international student, a temporary foreign worker, or an immigrant. And you come to think of it, are these people taking advantage of the temporary foreign workers? Because these mass layoffs in Canada is becoming a trend, a crisis, and a pandemic. Everyone is complaining about mass layoffs. People are being fired without notice, just an email. People are now desperate. They don't know what to do. It became like a surprise. No one is safe. If you're having a job, you finish a day and you thank God because tomorrow you don't know if your job is safe or guaranteed. You wake up, you've been told you've been fired. No plans. Your rent is due. High cost of living. You need to take care of your family. School fees is waiting for you. Insurance companies are there pushing you to the limits. The groceries super expensive. At the same time, the landlord is pushing you to pay rent and you've been laid off. And for you to get a job, well, you'll have to do a lot to get a job. Nowadays, if you're fired in Canada, getting a job is like, somebody has just said, it's like winning an Oscar. It's very hard to get a job because of the temporary foreign workers program, the immigration in Canada, international students taking these subsidized wages, and everything. Canadians are not safe, especially Canadians who are employed. Layoffs are destroying families. People are ending up homeless because of the mass layoffs. And they are hitting hard on Canadians, as you can see. People are literally crying, shedding tears, crashing out after realizing they've just been laid off by a mere email. No explanation, no compensation, no nothing. Even the government corporation, they will just wake up and say, well, we public announcement, we are laying off 40,000 employers or employees in the next coming few months, and you end up being a victim. Things are not pretty at all. That is why in the beginning I said Canada needs a policy called Put Canadians First. If we are going to employ people, make sure we employ Canadians first. If they refuse, well, give it away. But there is no way our people will complain about having no jobs. But yet, you go on our website, thousands of jobs. But under those jobs requirement, you see they are saying you should be a French-speaking Canadian. You should be speaking Punjab. You should be an immigrant specifically from India. You should be under the temporary foreign workers program. You should be an Indian. You should be an immigrant. And yet, real Canadians don't have jobs. They've been laid off and they can't search for these jobs anymore because they can't even get them. No. Works need to be given to Canadians first. And then if we are done, if no more Canadian is applying, we can say, well, I think we've hired many Canadians. Let's even now give this chance to others. And not just hiring Canadians. At least hire 60% of the Canadians. That way we'll solve this mass layoffs complaint. Because I personally shudder to think that these companies are just laying off Canadians, not because they are going under Trump's tariffs, tough economic crisis. They want something cheap. They want cheap labor. And they can get this cheap labor from the temporary foreign workers, immigrants, international students, Indians, and any foreigner, but not Canadians. They know Canadians know their worth. They know their right. They know what they should be paid per hour. So these other people are struggling to fit in. They are willing to do anything that will guarantee them safety in Canada, that will guarantee them jobs in Canada, that will seem like a greener pasture to them. But in reality, those are just subsidized wages that Canadians are refusing. That is why we are seeing these mass layoffs. There is something wrong in Canada that needs to be fixed. And guys, unless there is will to change Canada, there will be no change in Canada. Whatever you want to do with this information, it's up to you. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Subscribe this channel and see you in the next.